Welcome, folks. We have Representative Larry McBurney from Urbandale, Iowa. Representative McBurney represents Iowa House District 44. I have that correct, right? 44?
Yes, 44.
And that covers Urbandale and surrounding areas up in the northwest sector of Polk County. And this will be Representative McBurney's reelection campaign. And prior to that, he was on the Urbandale City Council. And with that short introduction, I'm going to give the floor to you, Larry, for the next 5 or 6 minutes. The floor is yours.
I appreciate you having me, Mitch, and it's good to see familiar faces, friendly faces. Unfortunately, I don't get to see that at the Capitol a whole lot, so it's nice to be in any setting where I get to see some friendly faces. Yeah, so this will be my second term that I'm running for. I am a huge advocate for local government. It's something that you'll see me push quite a bit on the House floor. It's something you'll see me push across neighborhoods, all across the state. Primarily because I came from the Urbandale City Council. I remember what it's like to be a city council member, and I remember everything that we were able to accomplish at the local level that we wouldn't have been able to accomplish at the state level. So you'll see me pushing that a lot over the next couple of years. I'm huge into property taxes. I know that's been a big thing that folks try to talk about throughout the legislative session this past couple of years. It's something that I've been very heavy into. It's Ways and Means is one of the committees I sit on, and I tend to get assigned a lot of the property tax legislation. In addition to that, I'm also on the Government Oversight Committee, where I'm the ranking member. I'm also on the Labor and Workforce Committee, state government, local government, and just, yeah, a lot of the advocacy work that I do up at the Capitol is working on ensuring that we have more local control. I think some of the things I'm most proud of especially over this last year, is we've been really pushing affordability issues. Uh, some of the things that I've personally introduced, we are trying to set up a statewide retirement account that would assist with small businesses. We know that small businesses have a difficult time competing with their larger counterparts, and it may not be as easy for them to be able to offer something like a retirement package for their employees. So what this would do is it would set it up much like what you see with IPERS, where it is controlled by the state. It's set up in an account that legislators can't get their hands on, because that's always important. And it would allow for all employers who have 5 or more employees to participate, and employers that aren't able to, who do not currently have a retirement system available for their employees. And so yeah, that's just one of the many things that we've been working on. I know as a party, we've been focused on water quality, we've been focused on labor issues, we're focused on healthcare. Um, I'm sure most folks know about the healthcare bill that was just recently passed by both the House and the Senate. We were very vocal about providing amendments to try to make that better for all Iowans, because we know that the tax increase is going to be passed along to, well, us, because as insurance premium payers, we already know that companies like Wellmark are going to pass along the tax. So we're just continuing to try to fight all of that. You're going to see a lot of us out across the entire state, recruiting candidates, getting candidates ready for the November election, providing everything that we can to ensure that they have as clear path to success as possible. So yeah, a lot of what I'll be doing is focusing on ensuring that we have that turnout in November. That'll leave it up to you guys. I think
Well,
that's
thank
right
you,
about
Larry.
that.
Thank you for leaving us the extra time.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm going to give the floor to Patrick. He's the chair of our election endorsement committee, and he'll ask you two or three questions, whatever time permits. So Patrick, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mitch. And hello, Larry. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Thanks, Patrick. It's good seeing you.
Yep. So as you know, part of the vetting process is to give you a questionnaire to see how well you align with our views. And you completed it, you sent it back, and the committee reviewed it. And we have 3 questions that we'd like to ask you if there's time for it. The first one is environment question number 3, which asked what limitations should be placed on the use of eminent domain for pipelines. You answered simply that limitations already exist within the Iowa Code. Please tell us now if those existing limitations are appropriate and how you would change eminent domain in Iowa.
Yeah, and that's honestly a difficult question to answer. And the reason why I initially answered that there are already limitations that are set in Iowa code is because based on the way that the question was formatted, it made it sound like there aren't. And what would you do? From my perspective, coming from local government, I don't like eminent domain. Eminent domain should always be the very last case use, and it should generally be for the advancement of the public good. Um, for instance, I know in Urbandale specifically, we had an instance where there was a storm sewer that was running right underneath a business. The business never should have been built on top of a storm sewer. That was just poor planning on the city's part. But it was necessary for us to use eminent domain to ensure that we could get out from underneath the property, be able to tear up the ground to replace the storm sewer. To me, that is an appropriate use of eminent domain. Prefer not to go down that route. Prefer to have an offer in place that business owners or property owners feel is just and compensates them for their troubles. With regards specifically to the pipeline, I've heard a lot of folks who are against it that have told me specifically they don't feel like they don't feel like eminent domain should be used for private gain. What I would challenge is we already allow that. If you look at Mid-American, you look at Alliant, those are private companies. Those are private for-profit companies who are allowed to use eminent domain to be able to run electrical wires all throughout the state. So, do you think that private companies shouldn't be able to use eminent domain? If you do, that's fine, but you also have to ensure, or you also have to take into consideration that those are companies that wouldn't be allowed to use eminent domain going forward. Or specifically to the carbon capture pipeline itself, it's not a project that I personally want to see go forward. I will say that if you look at a map of the state of Iowa, you will see pipe running all throughout the state. There are thousands of miles that are going through. So to me, this would be another pipe that they're shoving in the ground. I don't think it's going to accomplish what they think it's going to accomplish. I don't think that it's worth it. I would personally vote against a bill that would outright ban this specific project. Unfortunately, what we have seen in the legislature is language that is very broad, and I feel like having very broad language leads us to potential consequences down the road that we didn't foresee.
Okay, thank you, Larry. So the second question is education question number 2, and it asked how much power you believe the Department of Education should have over school decision making. You answered that the Department of Education's role should be advisory only, and that the state's primary role in local decisions is to set the floor, not the ceiling. So please tell us now, which are the areas for which the Department of Education should set the floor, and how can we ensure the floor is equitable?
Yeah, for me, when I look at setting the floor versus setting the ceiling, in my opinion, when it comes to education, specifically the Department of Education, what I would envision their role being is setting the baseline credit requirement to graduate high school. Knowing that, working together with collaborating with superintendents and principals and school staff from around the state, area education agencies, to be able to determine what is the current best practice, what is it that they find that kids today need to know going into society, because that's constantly evolving. We know that there are certain baseline skills that are needed. We know that math, reading, writing, those are all curriculum pieces that you need to have to be successful in life, and knowing how many credit hours through high school need to be attained to feel, or to make it feel like you have a baseline knowledge to go out into society and be a productive member. I think that's where the Department of Education should be coming in, being able to work with those different entities who have, let's face it, a um, much closer relationship with the job as a whole. So yeah, I would say that the way that they would be able to set that type of curriculum is to work with the different agencies across the state to be able to better know exactly what they should be providing students.
Okay, thank you. Mitch, we do have one last question. It'll be a quick one to answer. It's basically a yes or no.
Okay, go ahead, shoot.
Okay. Workers' rights questionnaire question asked if you support enacting a state minimum wage of $20 an hour or higher, annually indexed to inflation. In your answer, you indicated that the government has failed to uphold the original working wage intent and that it should be corrected. So please confirm for us now that this working wage is at least $20 an hour and indexed to inflation.
Yeah, and I'll just say living wage and $20 an hour. If that's the minimum, then great. But I want it to be at a bare minimum, a livable wage.
Okay, that was it. No more questions. So thank you very much, Larry. I do appreciate it. We're going to close it out now. I'm going to give you about 60 to 90 seconds to close it out on your end. And I'll take less than 60 seconds to close it out on my end. So the floor is yours again.
Yeah, and just looking forward to working with the Iowa Unity Coalition. We've done a lot of great things over the years. Now it's time for us to hopefully get us over the finish line and get back some of these seats that we know are going to be impactful to ensuring that we can actually advance some of the things that we talk about on a regular basis. I know that there are a lot of things that we want to accomplish, and unfortunately, we're not going to be able to accomplish those if we don't start flipping seats. And I think flipping seats starts with doing exactly what we're doing right now, vetting candidates, ensuring candidates have everything that they need to go out into the community, to be able to listen, to be able to build their priorities, and actually convince voters to vote for them. So I think this is a very important process. I'm glad that you guys are doing it, and I'd be happy to help out in any way I can.